This is John for Global Traveler. Today I'm talking travel with softball legend and longtime friend, Barb Jordan. How are you, Barb?
I'm good, John. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. I thought you'd be one of the perfect people to talk about travel and, more importantly, safety in travel. You are a softball legend, player, coach, broadcaster, and more. But perhaps more important is what you've done off the field. Could you tell us a little bit more about Be Vigilant? Being vigilant, I should say. Always Bev.
Yeah, Always Bev was started in 2018. It's actually named after my sister for Always Be Vigilant. And I started it because my sister's killer was released from prison after 30 years. And I thought to myself, there's people like him and so many others that walk around in society and we have no idea what they're capable of because they're normal looking people. And so Always Bev it's about so many different things, but it's about awareness and specifically how to recognize warning signs.
The thing I really love about what you do is you preach being vigilant as opposed to being fearful. Through vigilance, you reduce fear. You gain more freedom, you gain more fun, and I think that's such a great message that you're delivering. So it's not about worrying about every little thing. It's about eliminating a lot of the worry and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, the classes are very empowering, and it's empowering because we teach people about awareness. And, wherever you go, I mean, take a few seconds to look around. Doesn't matter if you're pulling in for a parking spot, it doesn't matter. But look at your surroundings. And when you do that, and you're able to say, I don't see, and you're able to feel safe and say these words, I don't see anything out of the ordinary. I don't see anything in my surroundings that should cause me any concern. That's an empowering feeling. What's not empowering is being startled. What's not empowering is when somebody approaches you and they're already right on top of you. You never saw them coming. That's not empowering. That's actually being scared.
Now, in addition to everyday life, I'm sure you have some ideas, some suggestions on being vigilant through travel. So if you could take us through some of the steps, like from, maybe at an airport, maybe at a hotel, maybe getting a Lyft, an Uber, maybe, checking out a new city. How do you check out a new city when you have no idea about any of it, but you still want to enjoy it? You still want to be vigilant, though.
Yeah, it all depends. Like, are people traveling? First of all, it's their safety in numbers. So if you are with other people that you know and you want to go check out a new city, do it with somebody. Don't go out there alone because you really don't know what's out there. You don't know what the beat of that city or that area is like. But there's a website called crimereport.com. And if you are staying somewhere and you are not aware of what happens in that city, punch in the zip code to where you're going. And it'll highlight very quickly how many robberies, how many batteries, how many assaults, how many murders have happened there within the last 7 days. And it gives you a very quick understanding of what you can expect.
So what would you suggest? Like, I'm about to embark on a vacation. First, I need an Uber ride to the airport. Are there certain things I should be looking for with that other than just the standard Uber rating?
Well, first of all, information sharing overall is so important. So the last thing, you're there, you are, you're going to be taking Uber with your bags packed. The last thing you want to say is, yeah, I'm not going to be home for 2 weeks. Nobody's home. I mean, that's the last thing you want to say. So you just, if you are concerned, you just drop a hint and you just be like, I hope my brother who remembers to water the plants, whatever it is, like you make it sound like somebody's still there, that you're not leaving your apartment or your home for long periods of time and nobody's there to check on it. So information sharing, what we say is, oh, they prey on that stuff. So we have to really think about what we're saying to people that we interact with. And of course, when you do take Uber and Lyft, I have to say, like, never get in an Uber or Lyft unless they say your name. You can't have Uber and Lyft pick you up and you say, hi, Mike. Anybody will say, yeah, I'm Mike. And that's the last we know about them. They have to say your name. It doesn't matter if it's a female driver or a male driver. If they don't say your name, you make them go. They'll go back in the car and they should be able to say your name, because if they don't, they're posing as an Uber or Lyft driver.
So now we're at the airport. We have to go through the security process. Our bags are separated from us. obviously the easy answer is to say, well, always keep your eye on a bag. Well, we know that. What other things can you do to be aware, to be vigilant through that process?
So, I mean, just in checking your bags?
Checking your bags, going through the whole airport all the way to the gate.
Yeah, just for me, like I'm a people watcher, and there's no better place to watch people than in an airport. So let's just say I am checking bags. First of all, be organized when you get into the airport. Like when I get out of the car, I have my phone in my pocket and I have my driver's license in my pocket. I don't walk in with all my bags, drop everything down, look down, start digging for all of my things that I need to get to check in and to get through security. I have those two items ready. My phone has my boarding pass. My driver's license, of course, is needed to go through TSA. When you check your bags, take a picture of the stamp that they give you for your bags. Don't just take that piece of paper, that slick little piece of paper, and put it in your pocket. Take a photo of it. So if you do lose your luggage, you have a backup source of, if you can't find that little piece of paper, you have something else to go to. And then when you go through and you are in line for TSA, I like keeping personal space. And how do I do that? If I have a carry-on or something, sometimes I usually put it behind me, because I don't like people up on top of me. It gives me space between the people behind me, and then I can keep my distance of how close I want to stand to the person in front of me. And no, do I think I'm going to get pickpocketed or anything like that? No, I don't. But it's just a matter of, when I have personal space, again, I feel really good about my surroundings. It gives me better awareness to observe what exactly is happening.
And now we landed in our spot. We've taken an Uber. We've done the same precautions on that Uber or taxi, whatever. Now we're going to our hotel. Through the check-in process, through the going into the room, any tips for that?
Yeah, first of all, hopefully you've done your homework on the hotel that you're staying at. Hopefully you've really, like, I pour over the hotels that I choose, like, where are they? What do they offer? Just anything that I can see on a website. I try to do the math to pick the safest one. And I have to say this, like, I mean, we all have different budgets. Hey, if it's going to cost you $20 more a night to get a nicer hotel, spend the money. Spend the money, live in luxury a little bit, live large a little bit, whatever it is. I always spend a little bit more money, so I'm in a little bit nicer hotel, because the more your hotel is, the less some of those people from the streets can afford a room like that. So you're eliminating some people who may be opportunists. When you do check in, your person, and again, if you're staying at a motel or something, they might hand you your card key and say, John, you're in room 207. The people behind the counter should never say out loud your room number. But when you stay at a nice hotel, they're pretty good about that. When you don't, they'll just announce it to everybody what room you're in. And there are people, look in the lobby. There are people, sometimes they're even employees, that act like they're sweeping the floor. I check in late at night and they're looking over. Yeah. And they're watching me. I mean, I'm just like, I just think to myself, don't say the room out loud. Like, you watch people, opportunists wait in those lobbies, whatever they're looking for. We don't know that, but just all of your information should be done at a minimum. And then even with the people behind the counter, you don't want to just, I'm here by myself. I'll be here for 7 days. I don't know anybody in this town. No need to share that stuff. There's no need to share that stuff. I learned a hard lesson back in college. There was a squad of us from the university, a guys football team, a women's football team. We went to New Orleans, and, we were all like seniors in college. It was for New Year's. We were going to have a great time. And on the last night, we were all in the lobby. And what were we doing? We were going out for a night on the town. And we were like, oh yeah, we're going here and we're going there. And we just were super loud about it. And when we got home that night, or 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, first person down the hall went to put their card key in, and their door just pushed open. Oh. Every single one of our rooms was broken into. So again, just because people work there doesn't necessarily mean that you can trust them. There are opportunists that are employed.
So is it appropriate when you're checking in to say, please don't say my room number out loud?
They shouldn't. I mean, basically, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I mean, you could, if you're really concerned, if you're concerned about your environment, somebody's listening in, you can say that. Most of the time they are trained to keep your information private, and they will just say, here's your room. They'll slide your card key, and it's something that they're trained not to do. They know not to share information.
No, so you're in the city and you want to go on your own. You want to look at it and check and find those little nooks and cranny spots, the cool spots. How do you do that while still being safe?
Well, one, I would definitely ask for somebody's assistance at the hotel. So if you know somebody from that town, someone you're visiting, you can say, hey, what are some good spots to go to? If you don't know somebody from that city, you can say to somebody at the front desk, I'm looking for a great breakfast place. And they might say, oh, this is what you want to check out. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And if you are in a rough neighborhood, you can say, a lot of times when I ask people, is it safe? I always ask a woman, because
Okay.
guys typically go, yeah, but
Tough guys, sure.
most of the time, because guys feel like, they're going to be safe. But I always try to ask a woman, is it a safe neighborhood? Because they'll think about it a little bit, and you can tell by their response what it is. They might be like, yeah, it's okay. That right there tells me, okay, really be on alert here. And when you get an answer, it's okay. That's not safe. That doesn't mean it's a safe environment. So how people answer questions is important. Cross streets. If you think you're being followed, whatever it is, change directions, hang a right, go inside a candy store, things like that. If you feel like somebody's on your heels or you're being watched. A great way to find that out is to cross streets,
Well, the thing that I really like again about your thought process, your goals and all this is, it sounds like a lot of things. We've gone through a lot of steps in the process, but if you make that part of your habit, you're adding 20 seconds onto this, 20 seconds onto that, and it becomes second nature. So you don't even think about doing it. It's just, I'm in line, my bag's behind me, I've created space. I'm heading to the airport, I'm doing this. It becomes part of your routine. And it's not like, well, I got to worry about all this. Now you're more relaxed. You're able to enjoy it all. That's the thing I really love about how you preach this.
Yeah, personal space is empowering. And so many times, you pick an airport, you pick a bar, whatever it is. If we make choices to give us the space that we want, again, being able to look around and say, I don't see anything concerning, it's an empowering statement to say. It's empowering to say, I feel safe. But when you are just swarmed by people and people are on top of you and you don't really know what's going on in your surroundings, it's a great way to be caught off guard.
So before I let you go, I do want to talk a couple softball questions for you. I've got a legend in front of me. I need to ask you a few questions. You've played through a lot of eras. What does it mean to you to see the sport grow from when you first started playing, maybe when you were in high school or whatever, to now there's two professional softball leagues out there. The Women's World Series got great ratings on TV. What does that all mean to you and for you to have been a part of that?
It's fascinating. It's fascinating to see women's sports grow. We played because we loved it, but we always knew way back when that it was great competition. What I see in the athletes today is they're better trained. They have, better weight programs, better nutrition programs. I think the overall athlete today, as far as being just physically everything they need to be, I think they're very well trained. We just did it on our own. We didn't have strength coaches and we didn't have somebody saying, don't eat that or don't do this. We just did it, just whatever we thought would get the job done. So today's athlete is, they're quite fascinating.
And do you ever get the chance to actually go out in the field and hit a few these days?
No, I keep my distance. I'm telling you, these women are so powerful today. I keep my distance from them. I'm talking about getting a foul ball, shot at you sitting in a third base dugout or something like that. They're extremely, extremely strong. I enjoy it from the stands. I enjoy watching it from a distance.
Well, I wouldn't bet against you though. because
like
I
I
know
like
your
it.
career. I
Good.
know the type of athlete, the mindset you have, and I would not bet against you. The last question I have about softball is, the new league, or not, I shouldn't say the new league, Athletes Unlimited has that unique scoring system. The other league, Women's Pro Fast Pitch, does not. They have the traditional scoring system. Do you have a preference for either one of those? Do you have thoughts on the unique style of scoring?
Well, the thing with Athletes Unlimited is it's still a team concept, although it's based on points. The more your team wins, the better, the better you're going to finish in the standings. I believe that Athletes Unlimited has today's stars. I think they're signing the best players out of college softball. I don't know if you saw the end of the game last night.
I was there.
Yeah. I mean, just, things that you just think, wow, that's what I mean. They have the stars of the game. And when you expect them, like, hey, they might be able to do something amazing right here, they do. And that's what I think makes Athletes Unlimited so special.
And you know me, I'm like you. It's the more softball I can watch, the better I'm out there every day with Athletes Unlimited. I just love the sport. I love the women athletes. It's such a good time, and I wish more people would see it and appreciate it as such. But before I let you go, Barb, tell everybody where they could find out information about you. Talk about Be Vigilant. Talk about Always Bev.
Yeah, just I travel all across the country. I do keynote speaking. Sometimes I do small organizations, businesses. It's violence prevention. Sometimes it's just strictly situational awareness. Sometimes it's sexual assault prevention. My courses are based on my audience. The majority of them are women. This next month, I'm doing a class at university at Cumberland. It's for men and women athletes. I'm doing men and women student bodies at the University of Idaho. So it's really, whoever feels that safety will help them and their communities have a safer feeling and a safer environment, and to prevent violence. That's what my classes are all about. And if you want to learn more, my website's alwaysbev.com. And you can find me on Instagram under always_Bev, Twitter, Barb Jordan. I'm out there. Look for me. I like to put little tips out there on how to defend yourself. Sometimes it's just strictly trust your intuition. That alone can keep you safe.
No, you're absolutely right. I do follow you on social media. I love the tips. I appreciate everything you do. It's reducing fear, which is the best part, so that people could actually enjoy things more rather than worrying about what might happen. The more variables you can eliminate, the more fun you can have. And I appreciate you teaching that. I appreciate you doing this and dedicating your life to that. And I thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome, John. Thanks so much for thinking of me, and of course for having me today.
Always, always, Barb. And you have a great afternoon.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.